Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, I realized something looking over between episodes, which is that building stuff in Pashtunistan not really going to get us anywhere unless we wait till it to finish incorporating. So I'm going to close these out. And I think we're going to build a few more motor industries in Iraqi Ajami. And a few more in Tabriz. And that'll be how we'll go about handling the situation. That should be just fine. Alright, let's get started here. I got 18 infamy. Oh, right. Where am I with you, Ugarstan? You're okay, you're going down in Liberty Desire. That's very good. I think I'm going to start... Okay, I am evangelizing. Okay, hold on. Let me check who I'm evangelizing in. It's been a little bit. Friends, okay, I'm evangelizing in Ugarstan and the Marina Kingdom. And I have quite a few more subjects than that. Kashmir. Alright. Kashmir is still Hindu. And I'm short on bureaucracy. That's not ideal. So maybe the answer is we build up a little bit more of that. Britain took state. Stop it. Anywhere we're short on taxation capacity? A little bit. Uzbekia. Only Uzbekia. We got a Turkmen national movement popping off, so that's something we have to be aware of. Let's throw these in at the top of the queue. None of those seem relevant, so other than that, because all these are just from obstinance from our that revolutionary movement we got, the Turkmen national movement. Now, how close am I to having? I'm not close. All right, so no better government methods. Let's just go ahead and build up a little bit more capacity in the capital and in our most populous areas. And we'll get running with that. We're a little short of telephones, but what else is new? Trade unions are also salty. I still got the Red Scare running. The Red Scare modifier. How much longer are you going to have that? 3 more years. Alright. When you have a hammer. General Abul Qasem Hedayat, noting severe unrest in Turkmenia, has proposed using the army to suppress agitation in the area. While his political allies support him, there's heavy risk to following his plan. It's simple. We have an army, and there is the enemy. Let me deploy my men and do it as needed, and the enemy shall be vanquished. That is all there is to it. Reprimand the general and reject the plan. Salt Shia Ulema, and he gets demoted. Or we misuse the tools we have to solve the problems we have. 33% chance the revolution progress goes down. 66% chance it goes up. I'm going to pick the second one. It went down, interestingly. So that's pretty neat. Shia Lim is still very happy. We got some oil discovered. I wish I remember. Oh, was it Bahrain? Nice. You know, that's fine. Let's hit our oil button. Not sure. But it is what it is. Alright, so we have built up a significant amount of... Come on, electricity. Of universities. Beautiful. So that's going to help us a lot. We have built up a significant number of universities. So let's take a quick look. Alright, so now we're getting quite a bit of unspent innovation to tech spread. That's going to be really helpful for all the stuff we're not ahead on. Which is nothing. We're not focusing on, really. Really wanting defense in depth, but them's the breaks. Alright, so let's have our next thing we do be going ahead and electrifying the country. we'll start in the capital. Oh, right. Obviously, this is not going to get done this way. Development. Power plants. So we're going to start with one level. Do I have, like, a visual to, like, urbanization in the area? It doesn't appear so. Oil in Punjab. Nice. So we're just going to start with one in every state in the imperial core here. And then we'll expand a little bit out to the east. And then we'll do the Arabian Peninsula states. And that'll be all for now. Ashgabat garrison refuses order. Interesting. Ordered to violently suppress a popular riot in Ashgabat, a battalion of the Turkmenia garrison have refused their orders, claiming the execution of such command would run contrary to the laws of men and Allah alike. Patriotism, I would gladly raise my rifle against any enemy of Iran. But should the Ottoman Empire come calling, I would do my duty, as shall we all. But to raise arms against kin, against brothers in blood and faith, sir, this we cannot do. Insubordination, string up the ringleaders and jail the rest. Reduce the progress of the revolutionary movement. 10% devastation. 10% of servicemen pops in Turkmenia become more radical, but 2% of officers become more loyal. Or hush this down. Revolution progress goes up. Reduce training rate there for 2 years, and the armed forces get very unhappy. I'm gonna have to do the first one, my friends. I gotta keep the armed forces happy. Now, have I still got a truce with Russia? I don't. I believe I have the ability to take them in a fight. Because I would love to get Kyrgyzia. Kyrgyzia is partially Kyrgyz, partially Uzbek, and partially Uyghur people. Right, because I'm going to hand that over to Uyghurstan. I'm not sure how I pronounced Uyghur there, but it's Uyghurstan. That's how that's pronounced, Uyghur people. Yes, I want to change, I want to change the religion of my other subjects. Anti-Russian League. Ooh, because they overtook us in the prestige rankings. Well, you're going to be happy, Anti-Russian League, because I am going to fight them so good. That's right, and I've also got Sindh as a subject. Right, you're a protectorate. And Chitral, you're independent. This state is held fully by Chitral. That's right. I was going to take the rest of Pashtunistan from Chitral. I've got the area pretty well incorporated. Now, what if I did that? 10.2 infamy. Alright, so I want to wait a little longer. And making them protectorate, 5 infamy. Alright, so a little bit longer. It'll be a little bit longer. I thought I had a shortage of motors, but maybe I don't. No, we're still pretty short on motors overall. I'm just bringing in a lot from trade centers. Still got a little bit of a wood problem. Don't really know how to help with that. Maybe the issue is import tariffs. Let's throw some import tariffs on wood and see if we can't. See, I got like a bureaucracy fluctuation situation going on here. My petit bourgeoisie are not waffling on how they feel. It's weird. But anyway. Yeah. Crimea River. Alright. We are maxed out on, or we will be maxed out on law enforcement. I'm doing pretty well in workplace safety. I'd love to get a little bit higher on that, but I gotta be conscientious about it. That's right. I broke off Turkestan because I want to turn them into a protectorate. And I will be able to, which will be very nice. We'll see if anyone stands in my way doing that. Alright, so that's actually the next place my infamy is going to go. Sorry, my nerds. It's been a minute. And by a minute, it's been only just over a week. I know that's silly to say, but it is what it is. So in my order of operations here, we're just going to take a look at our subjects. I'm going to sort by subject type. My two protectorates are Kashmir and Sindh. Both of them are going down at roughly equal, in Liberty Desire, at roughly equal rates. My three puppets, I've got the Marina Kingdom, Punjab, and Uyghurstan. And I am evangelizing in all of them except for Punjab. I'm going to hang tight on Punjab for now because Punjab wants to... because Punjab is going to get a little bit of Liberty Desire when I start reducing other countries' not infamy. What's the word? Other countries' autonomy. Okay, so the Shia Ulema petitioned the government to pass censorship. Interesting. This is going to piss off my radical movement. Before reading this, I'm just going to do a quick check. If I do this... this will make the radical movement militant, 82%. That's not good. That is not at all good. So I want to try to avoid this if at all possible. Representing his constituents in the Shia Ulema, Muzaffar ad-Din Ayrum has issued a formal petition to the Iranian government to pass censorship. Does Farsi have a rhotic R? Ayrum? Not sure. One last matter for the day, sir. Members of your constituency arrived this morning. They're asking rather loudly and insistently if you would meet with them about new legislation. Oh, is that it? Goodness, you seem as if you've seen a ghost. I'm sure I can spare the last hours of the light for them, can't I? I believe so, sir. They weren't taking no for an answer. We'll see what we can do. They'll expect us to pass censorship. Or they must understand the present situation does not allow for this. They become a little upset, and I lose some legitimacy for 5 years. I'm going to do the second one. I don't want to upset my current situation. A good vintage. The wine produced in Herat has been lauded by sommeliers as outstanding. When people say that something ages like wine, they don't always make the distinction between wine and wine. So let me make that distinction. If you can get your hands on a bottle from Herat, that bottle can be more than just a good time. It can be an investment. Make this an exclusive product for export, extra prestige, or increase production to meet booming demands, extra wine building throughput. I'm going to do the first one. We'll see how that goes. Masoud Sadegh, former leader of the Petite Bourgeoisie, is retired. The Petite Bourgeoisie are now in the hands of a jingoist. That's exciting. Turkestan. 4 more weeks. So, end of October. That's when we can at least look into puppeting them. And then with Kashmir and Sindh, we're making good progress getting the Liberty Desire down. Kashmir's a lot lower baseline, but we're not particularly close with either. They'll be a little bit better once we've improved relations further. How much are we paying in interest at present? 14K. It's not bad. It could be worse. What am I paying for in additional expenses? Materials. Nice. I forget what that came from. Anarchism. Exciting. Workplace safety is up to level 2. Law enforcement's up to level 4. So this should be helping medium term. 13 months on Pashtunistan. And here we go. So, I think projected it's going to be 15.6 infamy. No one is going to stop me doing this. So let's do it. Is there anything else I want from them? I don't think so. Is there any territory I want? Not really. Yeah, not really. Be my protectorate. Interesting. We got two fronts because Russia's we're stuck in the middle with us. I'm going to put a small army on both. Nothing to really concern ourselves with too much. Just going to be reasonable and sensible. We got... oh yeah, Germany and France are in a forever war. That's fun. I should take a look at this other thing. This was dumb for me to start right now. What do we got going on? Spain wants to cut Britain down to size. They got support from the French and from their subjects. You know what? That's... Spain, Godspeed. Probably shouldn't have mobilized everyone too early, but... Chitral withdraws from the Kohat Protocol. Well, Chitral, good luck accessing the world market. And do I increase investment? We do have a steadily rising population at this stage. Let's see. Increased welfare. Oh, interesting. I've never had the capacity for level 4 Social Security when on poor laws. That's quite curious. But hey, no objections here. Turkestan backs down. Lovely. Oh, that's so great. Turkestan, let's be better friends. An anti-German league. Well, them's the breaks. Alright, so they'll actually be going down in Liberty Desire a lot faster once they've got, once my infamy's back down below 25, and then getting back below 10 is my target point for going after Chitral. Bastunistan will be pretty thoroughly incorporated at that point, and I'll be getting significantly reduced penalties due to law enforcement, which is currently level 4 and is moving up to level 5. I've got the capacity for, I think, one more level. So let's go with, actually, workplace safety. Wait, hold on. Let's take a look in tech. How far are we away from having another level of healthcare? We're very far away. I think it's antibiotics down here. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. So, we'll leave that be for now. Golly, so many tier 3 techs. Okay, so that means I don't need to pause construction, which is also very good. I'm hurtling forward economically. Yeah, I just fell down to 9th place, but I'll be in 8th soon. The Heavenly Kingdom is what's halting us. That's interesting. Maybe we make some more protectorates in China. So, Turkestan, you're not particularly strong. No, you're an insignificant power. So that's fine. You're Sunni. I will need to change you to Shia eventually, as time goes by. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd forgotten I had something going on with V2. Ottoman Empire is still number 4. The Ottoman Empire has proven surprisingly resilient in this run. I'm actually quite surprised. Because, you know, again, it's quite rare. But they got their treaty with the Brits, and it's very, very hard to unseat the Brits in Victoria 3. The Brits start... they start on 3rd base, is the polite way of saying it. Yeah, let's go ahead and increase workplace safety. Actually, let's increase welfare. 60% welfare payments is not bad, and cut down to half political strength is pretty okay. Under seeking welfare. Secessionists bomb building. How many people do we have unemployed? Quite a few, about 500,000. A militant wing of the Turkmen secession movement have claimed responsibility for an explosion at a government building, announcing that the time for open war is rapidly approaching. Perhaps we cannot decide if there will be a war, perhaps we cannot even decide when there will be a war, but perhaps our decisions while trying to exercise control over these issues will determine who will be on our side when the time for war comes. Our very nation is threatened by the Turkmen menace. 15% devastation. It doesn't say what state. Oh, Iraqi Ajami in the capital. Ooh, that's bad. 10% of Turkmen pops in the whole country become more radical. Reduce progress of the secession movement by 15%. Or we will not let the Slowstem Act ruin the fragile peace we have. Armed forces and petite bourgeoisie unhappy. Reduce progress by 10%, but no extra radicalized Turkmen people. I'm going to go with the first one. It simply is sensible. It is not great to have a little bit of extra devastation and to have a bunch more radicals, but, you know, this movement, when they pop off, will... I think this movement's going to pop off, and frankly, if they pop off just in that area, it'll be completely fine with me. My infamy is not going down as fast as I would like. It might be just the game's running slowly at this stage. Excellent. So our primary project right now is getting our subjects our protectorates converted down to puppets. Now, how are we doing with the power block? Power block growth is still very small. I need stronger subjects. That's really the core of it. If I can get... Indocene Northwestern Indic for Sindhi. And for Punjabi, Indocene Northwestern Indic. Those are very close by. So maybe the answer is an annexation. Legislation imposed on Uzbekistan refused. They refused our demand that they enact people of the book state religion. The ambassador returns, bearing the news of rejection. They chose pride over progress, he reports. The silence that follows lies heavy in the council chamber. How ought we to react to such insubordination? There's not really a lot we can do, which is a shame, but it is what it is. And there's threshing machines. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and get started with those in all of our... You know what? I need to be hitting the located in Iran button more often. Let's start mechanizing our agriculture. I think this is going to be very good. I don't have the capacity to go to electric fences yet. The vineyards don't want to be on rail transport, but that's okay. The mines should be more profitable. Beautiful. And the mines are in fact looking good. Now what if we do steam donkey? Okay, mines are even better with steam donkey. So hopefully that'll deal with some of our profitability issues. Tobacco plants, we do have the ability to go to electric rollers. Let's go ahead and do it. That's made them a little bit more profitable. Alright, that's nice. That's nice. Logging camps, I can go to electric sawmill. I'm going to do that eventually, but we're not fully electrified yet. Railroad boom. Here we go. Growth of branch lines along the main rail routes has been immensely valuable to the growth of our burgeoning rail industry. A child has been arrested for picking up coal alongside newly laid tracks. If the youth had been smart enough to steal the whole railroad, he would have been hailed as the Napoleon of industry. The railroads of South Turkestan will prosper, extra railway throughput, or the locomotive builders of Iraqi Ajami should benefit from this boom, extra motor industries throughput. I'm going to do that second one. I always do that. Nobody should be particularly surprised by this. Now, am I building a railway in Pashtunistan, or an electric plant in Pashtunistan? I'm not yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. By the time we get around to that one, all of these others are going to be finished. Now, there's a question of if I should electrify Uyghurstan, my subject states. There's a good argument that I do. I think I'm going to do it. So we're almost at the top here with law enforcement. I might end up not having enough bureaucracy for it after all. We'll see. Pashtunistan is very close to being incorporated, and I am very close to being lower in infamy. Great Britain, on the other hand, has become an international pariah, just down extremely bad all the time. Relations with them are good, but they're in a lot of wars right now. Unfortunately, France is in a war with the Germans right at the same time, and that's a forever war. I don't know that that's necessarily going to finish. So France's ability to fight the Brits is a little bit hamstrung by that. Our secession movement is trending down to militant and further down. We are gaining in loyalists, though we're also gaining in radicals. But loyalists have an outsized effect on our whole situation compared to radicals. Japan has become... Are you doing a communism over there? They are. They're doing a wealth-voting republic. But they're still on interventionism, which is interesting. That's exciting. Border crossing. That's fun. Our soldiers regularly perform maneuvers near the border of the Ottoman Empire. Having our troops parade all over the border as if it were nothing to them could be a useful display of power, especially if we frame it as an accident. A border is just a line drawn on a map. If it isn't guarded or defended, why should an enterprising nation not come along and tweak the borders? An excellent idea. This gives us a bunch of infamy. Ooh, I don't want to get a bunch of infamy, but it does decay Ottoman prestige and give them morale loss. Or this would be ill-advised. Armed forces, -1 opinion. I'm going to do the second one. -1's not that much. I can definitely live with that much. Interest starting to rack up here. But I absolutely must electrify the country. So that's what we're going to do. Now, over here, I could go to sawmill. I'm going to go to electric sawmills. I'm also going to hit the electric rollers button again for tobacco plantations. Where is it? It's Oman. Oman's the one I can't swap over. Let's move the Oman power plant up to the top so that I can get that done fast, so that I can stop worrying about that. Now, logging camps, Kabulistan and Khwarezmia. Okay, so yeah, so we got a lot of logging over in the east, so that is what it is. I think we're going to go to rail transport. That is making them a little bit more productive. What if we go to steam donkey? Even more so. Beautiful. Law enforcement's up to level 5. That's nice. Oil rigs, I can go to tanker cars. That's made them even more productive, which is also nice. Where are we with oil? Oil's doing just fine. There's shift work. That's very good. Now, in terms of... Oh, interesting. We're still a little bit low on ironclads because we're exporting a lot of ironclads. Huh. It's a little curious. Gandhi National Awakening. Okay, not super concerned with that. Not Gandhi as in the Indian Nationalist Revolutionary. Gandhi as in the location, the ethnic group. Let me see. All these are okay. Tabriz, we're a little bit short on taxation capacity, so we'll go ahead and build 2. Those are trade centers. Oh, I'm so smart. 2 government buildings there. I should do a big trade expansion at some point. That would be useful. Kashmir is very close to being down to being able to be a subject. Kashmir has a GDP of 5.6. Sindh, 5.6 million. Sindh, 1.8 million. Okay, so Kashmir is much higher in overall size. So I think they're going to be the ones that are going to go first, which should not be a surprise to anyone. Dealing in arms. The establishment of munitions plants in Fars ensures an abundant supply of ammunition for Iran. I resent the term arms dealer. It implies that I am no more than a cynical profiteer, benefiting from the suffering of my fellow man. Nothing could be further from the truth. What I do guarantees peace and security, not only in Iran, but throughout the civilized world. If you want peace, prepare for war. Fars gets extra munitions plants throughput for 5 years. Nice. Boy, we are really bashing our way through the tier 3s right now. But happily, we're getting these bonuses to tech spread. So what are we getting spreading in military? We're getting the submarine, and it's spreading pretty fast, which is good. In society, we got corporatism rolling, which is also pretty nice. Reduce radicals from political movements is not bad at all. Unlocks corporatized unions, which might be something interesting, but... Excuse me, our standard of living is currently stuttering, and, stuttering standard of living is not good for overall, for our everythings. Happily, our trade unions are no longer big salty, which means we now have the ability to build a little faster. Because when the trade unions are salty, they don't let you build fast. Yeah. Put up. September of 1920 is when our next election is, so it's coming around pretty quickly now. Kashmir is almost ready to be downgraded in Liberty Desire to a puppet, which I'll be pretty pleased about. We'll just kind of wait here and watch it go, so that we can get it done as soon as we can. I've got them up to amicable, which is very good. And I think we're gonna try to... Well, I mean, obviously we're gonna try to maintain that, but we're still working on Turkestan, Sindh, and... oh yeah, that's right. We're improving relations with Russia, despite the fact that Russia doesn't want to have improved relations with us. Those goobers. Ooh. Chitral is in a civil war, but Karen National Awakening into Nasserim. Nice. Chitral is in a civil war, but I can't do anything with that. Sadly, neither side wants us. Very, very tragic and sad for me. Tobacco plants. Here we go. There we go. Now the tobacco plants are fully electric. That is nice. Logging camps, we're going to go up to electric for all of as many as we can. This is just going to kind of be a process. We're going to set them all to privatize. Oil rigs we'll set to privatize as well. But we're almost there. We're actually making really, really good progress. In terms of electrifying the country. In fact, yeah, I'm feeling pretty pleased by where we are with that. I think after that we may halt building, or we may not. We'll see. Well, interest is growing, and I do want to be kicking away at interest. We have some transport shortages in Arabistan, Fergana, and Pashtunistan. We need more electricity in a couple of other areas. Arabistan. Go ahead and get... Oh my goodness, they don't have any trade centers. It's curious. Oh my goodness. They don't need another railway building there. They got 15 under construction by the private sector. That's crazy. Private sector, what is going on with you? Okay, Fergana. I need to get better at Iranian geography. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna have to go there via this. Up here. At least it wasn't Iranian geography. Let's go ahead and build... How much demand is there for transportation? Okay, that can be satisfied by one level of construction. Now, what about Pashtunistan? Are you fully incorporated yet? Yes, you are. Alright, beautiful. Local prices are pretty alright. Let's go ahead and build one more, and then Hormuz. Local prices are low enough that one more will do. Now, Mazandaran, Merv, Southern Turkestan, and Bampur all need more electricity. So Mazandaran, you need 4 more levels of power. Private sector is building 1, we'll build 3. Southern Turkestan is... Here we go. Local price for electricity is 38. 1 power plant is sufficient to produce that, so that shouldn't be a problem. Beautiful. Beautiful. We're looking just fine here. Pashtunistan is having a very modest minus 13% construction efficiency due to my high law enforcement. Is fixing that problem. So yeah, feeling pretty jazzed about that. And Kashmir should be beautiful. All right. Overlord actions, increase autonomy, do subject payments, and do we evangelize? Not yet. Oh, we're not evangelizing in Punjab either. So do I start doing that now? I think the answer is yes. Let's do it. And that's brought their liberty desire up just a little bit. It's still only at 64, so I can do one more autonomy reduction before it becomes an issue. But Sindh's liberty desire has also been increased. And what that's doing is it's slowed me down on that side as well. Now we got a major war over here in China. The Heavenly Kingdom is looking to steal some states. Southern Anhui, which is here, Nanjing, which is here, and Jiangsu, which is here. They're going to cut a swath of Anhui open. I don't want a stronger Heavenly Kingdom. So, can I get a become subject? That's the first question. No one will give me a protectorate. But I could get a liberate war goal. Let's hang tight and keep a close eye on this situation. I just want to kind of see how this goes. See if any other states in China jump in. There are a lot of states that could. Xibei, Shanxi, and Sichuan could all assist. Zhili and the Beiyang government could assist as well. Do a promotion. The Shia Ulema demand the promotion of Brigadier General Abdul Samad Esfahani, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath, but it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Farhani's face when the field marshal learned of his imminent ascension. The rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last, he would have his due. He's earned it. He gets a promotion, and the Shia Ulema become happier, or the Shia Ulema will not force our hand. They get unhappy, and he loses some popularity. I'm going to pick the first one. I've also rethought what I'm thinking here. Which is, here's the thing. The Heavenly Kingdom are Christians. They're following the word of Allah a lot closer than a lot of these other folks. I'm actually not going to intervene. And if more of China becomes People's the Book, I'm happy with that. There will be a time for a confrontation with the Heavenly Kingdom eventually. But for now, their interests and ours are aligned in faith. Low organization of the 4th Iranian Army. Let's go ahead and give this guy a promote. Let's not. He's inexperienced. Can I get a better guy? This guy's reckless. Well, this guy's an armed forces guy. He's alright. Ambitious grifter. What could go wrong? Alright, so with all of that done, we'll go to full electric sawmills. That's going to make our sawmills much more productive. That's very good. And next, I want to go to... Urban is where urban centers are, isn't it? Feels like it should be. We're going to electrify the nation. Electric streetlights for all. Which is nice. So that's probably going to lead to some more... that's probably going to lead to higher electricity needs. Water tube boiler is productive for our paper mills. If we go to rotary valve, that's more productive? I think so. Tooling workshops. much less productive underwater tube boiler. Okay, never mind. Furniture, plants. It's worse. It's worse. I can't win with these labor saving methods. Okay, mechanized textile mills. That is good. Can't do automated bakery yet. And there shouldn't be anything for development buildings. Yeah, no. All right. All right. So we're doing pretty well for production methods so far. I'm feeling pretty good about the overall situation. How is unemployment? Unemployment's a little bit up there, but that's okay. A country can live with some unemployment. Now we are paying quite a bit in interest. I still got another year and a quarter for those extra government expenses. And of course, our Turkmen national movement's popping off. They're predicted to go to 79%. But again, we are increasing in loyalists. So I'm hoping long term we're doing pretty well with that. Okay. This surplus I'm not hugely happy with. I can afford to reduce government or military wages, but honestly, it feels unimportant at this stage. I'm suppressing my communist and socialist movements, and that's going well overall. They're starting to tick down in liberty desire, which is nice. So as we bash away at our national debt, let's bash. I'm not going to increase taxes. So we'll simply continue to, well, our GDP isn't growing. Standard of living should be going up as as we electrify the nation. We are once again having electricity shortages in new areas. Iraqi Ajami, Kabulistan, Tabriz, Fars, and Herat. So, Iraqi Ajami, that's the capital. Local prices, we're going to need 2 more power plants. Pashtunistan, once again. You're fine. I think I need to subsidize the power plant here. Because they're hiring, but not very effectively. Kabulistan, that's over here. Local price is 63. You're going to need 1 more level and to be subsidized. Iraqi Ajami, are you fully employed? You are. Alright, beautiful. Mazandaran still a little bit low. Actually, you need a lot more levels. Tabriz, one of our primary industrial areas, you need 2 more levels in addition to the one the private sector is building. What about Fars? Local price, you need ideally 3 more. Let's build 3 more levels. Herat, you're good, you just need to be subsidized. And Tajikistan, you're good, you just need to be subsidized. Alright, beautiful. Tajikistan, you need some things to spend electricity on, so let's build some logging camps. Can't go wrong with some logging. Now, oh, interesting. Spain does not have war support protection on their cut Britain down to size situation, which is curious. But France does, so Spain will be able to be pieced out, but France will not necessarily. France is probably going to have a hard time, though, being that they're in the midst of a forever war with the Germans. The mob approaches. Belligerent crowds have been getting increasingly provocative when confronted by troops in Turkmenia. Hardliners in government are demanding tougher responses, while doves are calling for troops to stand down as the first step in de-escalation. A whiff of grape shot saved the day once, and it can be done again. I'm telling you, we need to show strength right now. Strength? Bullets are an admission of weakness. We need to talk, show them we're not afraid. That's how we'll get them. Disperse the crowds by force. 50% chance of more radicals, 50% chance of reduced revolutionary movement progress, or order the troops to stand down, 50% chance of more loyalists, 50% chance of increased secession movement progress. I'm always going to pick the second one on this. It went up. That's okay, because you can get loyalists out of it, and that's good. So, I turned Kashmir into a puppet. They're going down in Liberty Desire. Sind is still going down. So, what's next? In terms of my subjects. I'm not evangelizing in Kashmir yet. I'm going to wait a little bit longer for that. Turkestan, we're getting close. The best defense. Our neighbors in the Ottoman Empire have become known for their ruthless foreign policy, concerned that the Patriotic Party has raised in their election campaign, promising to be harsher in turn to deter aggression. So hold on. Let's minimize this. Where are we at with our election? The Learned Council is going to get a sizable majority with their alignment with the rural folk. That's very good. After that, it's the Revival Party, then the Patriotic Party, which is the Revival Party are the intelligentsia and the trade unions. The Patriotic Party are the armed forces and the petite bourgeoisie, because they are headed up by a jingoist now. And then the Society for Progress is just the industrialists. All right, so this is pretty good. We're currently a coalition of only the Learned Council, but we can create a good coalition with the Patriotic Party. So I'm going to say I'm going to potentially favor that. The suggestion has been brought to me that our diplomats study more languages to facilitate connections around the world. That is all well and good, but we all know that there's only one language an Ottoman brute understands. They don't teach it in universities, but we better be ready to speak it if we want the border to stay where it is. The Ottoman menace must be deterred, deteriorates relations with them, extra momentum for the Patriotic Party, or they're just looking for a target for their posturing, salty armed forces. I'm going to go with the first one. A stronger Patriotic Party is just fine for me. Armed forces is a little unhappy, it turns out. They're not unhappy, but they're not as happy as I would like them to be. That's really where we're at. France has got an uprising in Siam. Heavenly Kingdom is going after Anhui still. Feeling pretty good overall. Turkestan might actually get down to below 25 Liberty Desire before Sind does. No, they won't. Nope. Maybe they will. Sind is... yeah, hard to say. The party favorites. The wing of the Learned Council, affiliated with the rural folk, has raised complaints about Ebrahim Esfahani's choice of endorsements, leaving their supporters neglected. He is an agitator aligned with the reactionary movement, a Luddite. Interesting. I must levy a concern now that it has come to my attention. Whilst Ebrahim Esfahani's actions are undoubtedly well-intentioned, the recommendations contained thereof seem to exclude certain members of the party, who have demonstrated far more than sufficient vigor, goodwill, and surety of purpose. Listen to their concerns and appease the rural folk. Extra momentum for the Learned Council. Esfahani increases in popularity by 50. Or appeasement. Don't they know it was fully intentional? Half as much momentum. Rural folk get weaker. Shia Ulema get stronger. I'm going to listen to their concerns and appease the rural folk. That's going to get us more momentum into the Learned Council. I also don't necessarily want the rural folk getting weaker, because the rural folk getting weaker... It's not necessarily a problem for me if they fall back below... back to insignificant. I'm not sure how they're here with... No, well, I think it's because they're going to get quite a few votes, but we'll see. Alright, armed forces are steadily decreasing in happiness. I'm not sure why. I guess we were getting a lot of happiness from them from temporary modifiers, which is interesting. Persian Kurdistan has a transportation shortage, which I should address. Local prices are at pretty high. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll build one more level of railways for that. Once we've got electric railways, we'll be doing a lot better. But after that, I need to spend some time chilling and knocking away at my national debt because I'm paying above 20k in interest, and I don't love that. A submarine has been unlocked. That's pretty cool. My fleet will not necessarily benefit from having submarines just yet, but it is what it is. Getting a total of 19k from diplomatic pacts, which is pretty rock solid. Getting close to getting sinned below 25% liberty desire, which is also nice. Overly enthusiastic partisans. Supporters of the patriotic party have gone beyond simply campaigning for their own party, harassing and sometimes physically attacking opposing partisans. I'm a simple party man, that's all. I know who I like, I know who I don't like, and I know I want my people to win and their people to lose. Crack down on patriotic party activities, they lose some momentum. Or let them continue unmolested, weaker and angrier trade unions. I'm going to go with the second one. I don't love the trade unions being unhappy, but at the same time, the weaker they are, the better. Something going on in Johor. A radical revolt. Gosh, interesting. I've never seen a large Johor before. Curious. Quite curious. Quite curious. Still having a transport shortage in Pashtunistan? They're having trouble hiring. Do we not have a university here? No, we got quite a large university here. Well, curious. Hard to say. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. I think... at this stage, we're going to start evangelizing in... Oh, right. It's not just evangelizing. It's using my power block to change their state religion. That's right. That's the thing I need to be doing. So, Kashmir, you are Hindu. Congratulations. What? Oh, oh no, we're in sin. Oops. Impose state religion. I started evangelizing in these places and completely forgot about converting their governments to the Shia faith. All right. Turkestan, you're still Sunni. I can't impose because you haven't been part of the power block long enough. Ditto for Sikh. All right. So, and I'm not evangelizing here yet either, so that's fine. Ligirstan, you are good to go. I am a little bit short on cash flow. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish that this revolution would just kind of pop off so that I could not be worrying about this. Alright, Tabriz is a little short, Mazandaran's a little short. Both of them can have a bit more government. Just a bit. Just a teensy bit. And there's our election. So, that puts us in an extremely legitimate government. So do I need the patriotic party in the government? I don't know that I necessarily do. I'm quite surprised that the rural folk got so little of the share of the votes, but them's the breaks. Do I gain any benefit having the armed forces and the petite bourgeoisie in the government? Is there anything I wish to do? If I go to graduated taxation, having more people who want that will be better, the petite bourgeoisie will be against. Okay, but the cash flow benefits would be quite large. Investment pool is quite big. Power shortage in Kandahar and Pashtunistan. How much do you need? Oh, right, you can't hire. And then Kandahar. You're just having a hiring problem, so you need a subsidy as well. I think going to graduated taxation makes sense. Are there any movements that are going to be against this? The socialists are going to like it. And that's going to reduce their activism, which is pretty good. So I'm for this. It's also going to make the trade unions happy. This wouldn't be against traditions. Let's do this. And I can negotiate. I can negotiate with the rural folk to get their help, or the industrialists to get them to stop opposing. Let's negotiate with the industrialists. Prominent industrialists meet in Tehran's finest cafe to discuss graduated taxation. With the right leverage, perhaps their opinions could be swayed. He serves his party best, who serves his country best. Rutherford B. Hayes, 19th United States President. Quietly create a special subsidy. This costs the government a pile of money. I don't think that's worth it. 10% chance of backroom dealings exposed, which is also bad. Perhaps if we invest in more motor industries, we need to build a total of 17 motor industries. Let's add some fine print about short-term tax cuts. Short-term tax cuts. It says set to expire over time. That's 10% tax collection. This is overall probably the best. But investing in... No, we'll invest in the motor industries. So that's good. So now we have a success chance with no failure chance. Now I could negotiate with the rural folk as well, but I don't think I need to. We'll see if it goes through. If it goes through, I'll be conscientious about those plants, and if not, then I won't worry about it. Oh, interesting, but now I've pissed off the petite bourgeoisie and cost myself a bunch of bureaucracy. This might have been unwise. Hijazi radical revolt. Ooh. But the Hijazi radical revolt does not want me involved. Which is fine. I'll exercise self-restraint. I'll be normal about it. Oh, now the petite bourgeoisie are causing these stall chants. Gosh dang it. You know what? I'm actually gonna scrap this. This isn't I don't have enough of anybody providing actual progress on that. So I got my stuff back. I no longer have Oh, interesting. So if it gets canceled, so if enactment gets canceled, they're still expecting this to happen, which is curious. That's really interesting. Political movement disbanded. That's the socialist movement. Oh. How exciting. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Well, that gives me a lot more authority to play with. That's fun. Let's throw in some consumption taxes. I can consumption tax coffee. And I can consumption tax meat. And I can consumption tax fine art. Which is going to generate a whole mess more cash flow for the government. So I'm pretty pleased about that. Nice. Masterful gambit, Gencat. I did it. Oh, I'm so good at video games. Oh gosh, I'm so dumb, y'all. I was just like, whatever, I'll do this thing. Ooh. Time to reduce Sin's autonomy. Reduce subject kins. Uh-oh. Oh, I just had the silliest sounding sneeze you've ever heard. It was very silly. Oh, man. I've become extremely silly tonight, I tell you what. Alright, we did get another soundtrack here. So, I've got about low enough infamy to go after Chitral. 5 infamy to protectorate them, 10.2 to seize the state that I want. I'm always a little bit over, so I think I'll wait till we get down to 9, but we'll get there. Now, Sin's liberty desire is progressing downward at a very healthy pace. If I change their state religion... I can't do that yet because they haven't been in the block that long. The power block. Turkestan is getting down there. Very nice. Very, very nice. Alright, so we're making good progress. I do actually want to go after Sichuan, though. Their economy is pretty large, and Chitral is just a tiny country. Oh, but I want to get Pashtunistan realigned. Oh, Chitral is actually part of Kashmir as well. So I do want to annex them. So, if I hit that little annex button, the Ottoman Empire may try to stop me, as may Portugal. So do I think I can take the Ottoman Empire in a fight? They are currently in their own war. I've got a pretty significant armed force, and I can build a larger one. More importantly, do I think they can... Can they take me... It'll mean a larger war. Let's just let it be for a bit while I chip away at our national debt, and then I'll think about it. I can always have lower infamy as we work on our other tasks. I got a bigger... I got more cash flow coming in from diplomatic pacts, which is also nice. Punjab is the big one because their economy is quite large. And there's vulcanization. So, I don't think I have... Oh, I do have rubber production capacity here in the Marina Kingdom. But they don't have their rubber discovered yet. Okay, never mind. How are they doing converting their populations? They're doing pretty alright. Doing pretty alright. Pretty healthy, healthy Shiite populations in both states. Feeling pretty good about that. And our material waste expired. Wonderful. So now we're getting about close to 100k back each week. And we got about 15k in interest, so we'll be cutting about 15 mil in debt. So we'll be cutting about 5 mil per year, which is not bad at all. Not bad at all. Electrical shortage in Arabistan. Prices are... you just need a subsidy. Just a wee subsidy. Now, what do power block statues do for me? Ooh, extra conversion. That's very, very good. Interesting. As well as increasing prestige. Increasing prestige. And reduce state penalties from turmoil. That's pretty strong, my nerds. I think I've... No, okay, alright. Oh my goodness, the United States is also going after Great Britain. Interesting. This is exciting. Is Britain still in their other forever war? They're on the other side of a war with the Germans. Whatever about. How curious. How very curious. Ooh, and Austria's been sort of devoured by a positivist revolt. They're probably going to lose that, which is going to make life really interesting. Oh, I didn't realize the Turkmen national movement had ceased to be revolutionary. Anti-Spanish League offers opportunity. It offered opportunity to establish a defensive pact with Russia. Anti-Spanish League. The Russians hate me, my guy. This is not in our interests. Sorry, let me read the rest of this. Their proposal, if accepted, is intended to counter Spanish interests. It was a veiled sort of aggression, one which could, in theory, appeal to both ardent jingoists and those who preferred to mitigate losses. It would force the enemy to respond, possibly drive them towards reckless confrontation in response to a seemingly benign maneuver. A plan to fight Spain to the last Russian, one minister remarked. A representative flushed. He practiced responses along both lines, but none of them quite fit. We'd be happy to pursue this, or this is not in our interest. I'm going to say this is not in our interests. I'm going to see what the Ottoman Empire does in terms of this thing with France. Oh my goodness! Hungary has gained independence. That's exciting. Austria is now a minor, and Hungary is a major. That's curious. Sadly, I can't take them over. Empty pockets. A series of perceived poor decisions by the Uzbek national movement has led to a notable decrease in its ability to raise money. Numerous wealthy sympathizers have quietly halted their support for the movement in its current form. We do not wish to appear partisan. Always the same refrain. The organizer paced back and forth within his tiny office, fist clenched until it felt as if his knuckles were about to burst through his skin. Occasionally he stole a glance at the unopened envelopes on his desk, all of which he knew would repeat a variation of the same. Partisan. What did it mean? That they cared for something? That they'd chosen to do something beyond count the money in their vaults? He had something important to do, something which would improve society itself. They had a chance to do the same. In that light, how could partisanship possibly be bad? Perhaps we'll find an alternative source of funds, some extra loyalists in Iraqi Ajami, and a weaker movement, or everything dies in the end, some faster than others. I'm not too worried about the Uzbek national movement, so I'm going to pick the first one, give myself some free loyalists. It's not many, but it's not none either. Take a quick look at the Ottoman Empire's military stuff. Okay, they're up to trench infantry now and shrapnel artillery, so I believe that means they're equal to us militarily. In terms of military tech, the next big step here is radio. Austria sides with Sardinia and Piedmont is radio. Which we're close to. If we go to... Okay, I've got a plan. Dominion of India damaging relations. Okay, interesting. So they're a dominion now, eh? So I think once we've got radio, I am going to go over to military. I'm going to snag... Oh, there are a lot of tier 4s in military. I'm going to snag defense and depth. That gets us up to siege artillery. And wargaming, which gives us an extra offense bonus. And that will be enough to push me over the Ottoman. Turkmen leadership. There's Annalene, wonderful. A Turkmen politician with secessionist sympathies has risen to prominence in the trade unions. Have you heard who spoke at their last rally? To think the opposition give credence to Turkmen propaganda now. The sitting government would never host a speaker like that, which, incidentally, was the exact argument made in the speech itself. A Turkmen political leader unthinkable. 2% of Turkmen pops in Iran become more radical. A Turkmen agitator will appear, reduce the progress of the secession movement by 10%. What's their max? Their max is 80%. Or, anyone can make it in Iran. A Turkmen politician will assume leadership of the trade unions. I'm going to pick the second one. That'll be fine. Dominion of India. Dominion of India. You don't want to have your independence supported. Well, not by me, at least. Okay. Alright, well, I think I can afford to devote some influence to increasing relations with them. Oh my. Japan is experiencing a revolution, a radical revolt. Couldn't get a subject. I always want to try. So this is Spain trying to take Sardinia Piedmont as a protectorate. And Austria trying to stop them in exchange for stealing Venezia. Could steal Greece. If I supported Spain. If I supported Sardinia Piedmont, I could steal either of Spain's subjects. Though I don't think that's wise. If I go after Sichuan, that might be the Ottoman fighting me there as well. Oh, Japan will step in. That's curious. What about Mongolia? Oh, I don't have the necessary interest for going after Mongolia. Alright, so we'll declare a few more interests before we do that. I'm trying not to be too cowardly over here. I am bashing away at my interest quite effectively. My interest payments. You know, don't tell me about the low standard of living. I don't care about that. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I can't do anything about it. Turkmen national movement will be just Turkmenia, same as always. Border crossing. We saw this event a minute ago. Oh, I don't want to give myself a bunch of infamy though. I'm gonna say it'd be ill-advised. Sorry, armed forces. I really like you guys, but I can't afford it. I really want to go after Chitral, though. But I want to chip away at my national debt even more. Because I'm keeping it very close to the chest fiscally. I think that just makes good sense to do. How's the investment pool doing? The investment pool is moving down and is slowly shrinking, but they are using the majority of the construction capacity. Ever-increasing influence. Members of the anti-North German League have discreetly dispatched one of their number to amplify their mission in Iran's most widely read newspaper. The anti-North German League has calculated with utmost mastery the dissemination of materials to secure a foothold in both the political world and the public's imagination. With great satisfaction, the lobbyist comments, there is no denying that the number and reach of newspapers has ever expanded. This approach is sure to reach influential lawmakers to favor our scheme. This sets a bad precedent, Shia Islam, a little salty. Or this is ingenious. Increased appeasement, -5 legitimacy. I'm going to go with the first one. I like having high legitimacy. Punjabi fundamentalist revolt. Interesting. I am going to need to put an army on that issue. This is probably a Hindu fundamentalist revolt. What are you? It's over free trade policy. That's quite curious. I don't know what to make of that. But I'm going to stop it. That's the thing I'm going to make of it. Is I'm going to put a stop to it. I think perhaps when this war finishes, I go after Chitral. I think that's my plan. I'm still doing pretty well financially, and I'll be doing more well later. Why are you low in supply? Okay, no, you're good. You're good. You were having a little bit of attrition. No. I don't know. Hard to tell. It is what it is. Turkmen national movement is one. Okay, so they're vacillating right around 75%. You're still getting a nice, healthy rise in loyalists. Mostly that's from our extremely legitimate government. Coup in Russia. Interesting. So who's heading up Russia now? Russia's a monarchy again. Emperor Ivan Pavlovich. Interesting. And booming oil industry. The recent expansion of the oil rigs in Persian Kurdistan has boosted confidence in Iran's future as an oil producer. If our ancestors had seen machines powered by a black flammable liquid bursting forth from the earth, they would surely have called our technological marvels the work of the devil. Thank God we live in such enlightened times. Get every drop from those wells, extra extractors throughput, or we'll find more things to put oil in, free progress on combustion engine. I'm going to do the second one, because I love free tech progress. It's one of my favorite things. Well, interesting. The Ottomans are allied with Japan. Curious. Now, I was talking about going after Mongolia. No one will stop me if I do this. Japan might try, but I don't fancy Japan's chances against me. Their military, oh, they do have trench infantry. Okay, so they're up to date militarily, but they'll be navally invading, and I'm not hugely I'm not optimistic about their ability to do that. So yeah, so maybe next we go after Mongolia. Turkestan is getting down there in Liberty Desire. Sind, do we have the ability to change their religion yet? We do. Go ahead and impose state religion, and then we'll start evangelizing. That is going to increase their Liberty Desire by a little, but only by a little. Turkestan. You're next. I say, as though it's sinister, what I'm doing. It's not sinister. This is just the will of Allah. Alright. Get a battle started. Their defense is very, very low, so we are for sure winning. I'm feeling very good about that. Cash flow is alright. We're down to 10k in national debt. Our interest is down to 15k, which is very, very good. coup in the United States. Oh my, so who's running things now? President Jeremiah Chetwood, a trade unionist ethno-nationalist. How curious. How very curious. Yeah, I'm wondering what kind of happened there, but I'm not wondering that all that much, to be completely honest, because it's not my business. We have decent relations with the Americans, and we hope to remain so. Maybe I'll improve relations with them. And maybe I'll improve relations with the other Americans as well. I can't. I can't because we don't have any shared interests. The Confederacy is a very small country. A minor. Tell you what, Confederacy. Please don't tell me your capital is in Tennessee. It's not. It's Virginia. Covert agitation. Revolutionary sympathizers have begun to agitate for anti-government causes in the barracks in Turkmenia. The state has forsaken every right it has to order your blood shed. You must realize this. Even beyond Turkmenia, people like you and I are organizing to demand an end to this nightmare. And it starts with you and I, us common soldiers, the ones they trust to do their will. What will happen when they finally see that no one will stand behind them? The armed forces must be loyal to the state above all else. Armed forces happier, reduce progress for the revolution. Or those control the soldiers, control the nation. Increase revolution progress, 5% of service and pops in Turkmenia become more radical, and reduce barracks throughput. I'm going to do the first one. That's a completely reasonable way to approach the situation. We got our war here pretty much locked in. We're nearly finished. Bureaucracy's still doing well. Infamy is almost down to 0. This might be our last battle here. In fact, it almost assuredly will be. I'm hoping, if it's a success, it will be. And there we go. And that's the end of the war. So. Ottoman Empire is still pretty likely to step in. If I go after Szechuan, I don't think I can take Japan and the Ottomans. But I think I can take... I think I can take just the Ottomans. I'm doing it. Alright, so we're going to mobilize this army once again. Put them back on the front. Our little area here is uncrossable, so that's not going to be a factor. And we'll see who steps in. At least I have very high confidence in my ability to hold down the Ottomans until... Interesting. I could sway India. But probably not something I want to give up. Let's see what they want. Transfer a state. Baluchistan. No, thank you. Okay, well, that's an interesting idea. Cash flow's still good. Fort in a sea of anger. Mobs have surrounded an arsenal in Turkmenia, threatening to seize the arms and munitions stored within. While the guards are staving off attacks for now, if no relief is sent, the arsenal will surely fall to the insurrectionists. I couldn't sleep last night. The commander refuses to accept terms, and firing continues from both the arsenal and the emplacements that now surround it. After one large blast, I sprung out of bed and went onto my knees to pray as I'd never prayed before. Our options are a relief column could escalate tensions when it's necessary, or the mob could be emboldened by a surrender, but we need to take the risk. Either way, we're going to have equal chances of the revolution progressing or deprogressing, or regressing is the word, going up or down. So the question is, do I want to radicalize serviceman pops or officer pops? I'm going to radicalize servicemen. And I think the revolution progress might have gone down. I'm not sure. Looking so far so good with Chitral. Feeling pretty good about that. If the Ottoman decides to fight me, then fight me he shall. But Kingdom of India declares neutrality. Great Britain declares neutrality. Okay, so it's just the Ottomans now. Interesting. You think you can fight me, Ottoman Empire? You think you can fight a fully equipped trench army in an offensive war? Try me. But actually don't, because I don't want to spend the money. Okay, a little bit short on bureaucracy. Let's go ahead and build one level of government admin. I still need a little bit more tax capacity in Tabriz. And that's the only location. So that's fine. That'll be just fine. It'll cost me some cash, and it'll still be fully worth it. Alright, so this is good. So this will mean that I can pass Kashmir over to Kashmir. And that'll fully unify that state, I believe. And then Pashtunistan will become... I had a bad brain fart there. Pashtunistan will be fully unified under me, and then things will be well. Alright, so the Ottoman decided not to step in. I'm feeling pretty good about that. If I go to Mongolia, I don't think the Ottoman Empire could step in. If I can get a truce with Japan, that'll be nice. Relations with Japan are quite bad. Let's go ahead and improve them. Their attitude towards this is cooperative, so maybe I can just get them fully on board and chill in this whole situation. I can also reduce Turkestan's autonomy. Just checking the rest of my puppets here. Okay, nobody else is high in liberty desire whatsoever. So I think we'll go ahead and do that. We'll reduce subject payments as we've been doing. We can't impose state religion yet, but eventually. Have we got a battle here yet? Yes, we do. And we are winning. Beautiful. Alright. I mean, with a force comparison this high, it's probably was never going to be much of a difficulty, but I figured I would at least give it a look-see. Bit of a look-see. Now, how are we doing with progress here? Still not... It could definitely be better. Unfortunately, this territory is held pretty directly by our boys, the Dominion of India. Violent suppression leads to increased discrimination. Radicals in the Nejid appear to be getting support from discriminated Bedouin citizens within the state. Nejid? Am I holding any of the Nejid? I am. Interesting. That's right. I did take that area over. If they want protest there, we should let them. If they want to protest there, we should let them. We'll likely only make things worse if we try to force them to submit. If we have to deal with them in the future, they will all be in one place and much easier to take care of. We say where they can and cannot protest. Increase radicalism in the Nejid for discriminated pops, but armed forces happier. Or let them protest where they want. Slightly increase radicalism, armed forces unhappy, migration traction increased. I'm going to do the first one. I always... Have my armed forces fallen out of the government? Or out of the politics? They have. Interesting. So what does that mean for our next election cycle? Because that's something that concerns me. Right. Okay, so the Petit Bourgeoisie are going to make a moderate socialist party. The trade unions are going to move to the Society for Progress alongside the industrialists. That's quite curious. quite curious. Uyghur is in default. That's probably not going to affect me much. A peculiar reconciliation. Ooh. Not having this again. With years having passed since the passage of slavery banned, pro-slavery ideals among the landowners have faded significantly. In the echoing manor halls of the landowners' domain, the words which had once lambasted the government for their tyranny in taking their slaves had begun to shift. Now, instead of open condemnation and calls for restoration of the institution, there were suggestions for alternatives. Sharecropping, the use of prisoners, a dozen different means of disenfranchisement to restore what they saw as the natural order. But none dared raise the idea of openly flaunting the decree. Not now, at least, when the government seemed vigilant, and the formerly enslaved were still wary. For now, they would simply work with what they had. Now is the time to come together and forgive. Happier landowners, increase radicalism and reduce political strength for discriminated pops, or we cannot forget the perpetrators of this crime. Weaker landowners, angrier landowners, 2% of upper stratum pops in the country become more radical. I gotta pick the second one. Slavery is odious, and we can't forget. Great Britain would like... Oh, Reza Pahlavi, leader of the armed forces, retires. Interesting. What do you want? You want an alliance? You want mutual trade privileges and mutual investment rights. Great Britain, you're too notorious for this. I'd be delighted with trade privileges. Ooh, I would like... Interesting, I didn't... The Bayonne government is a British subject. That's curious. But what I want is the Trucial States. So, can I get that? You don't want an alliance that badly. You want military assistance. That's curious. You want... Where's investment rights? What happened? Unclear. What about cash? Can I give you cash? You want some of my art, huh? You want quite a bit of my art. Some of my engines, too, huh? I'm slowly getting to the point where they'd be willing to do this. This would cost me a huge barrel of money, but I would love to get a hold of the Trucial States. Any other goods you would be interested in? Some fertilizer. I'm sure as heck got plenty of that. Too much. Furniture? You know, this is getting silly. Differences aside. Impressed by the work imported from American filmmakers, the trade unions plan to join the Iranian-American League. They're willing to collaborate with the Shia Ulema to advance their interests. Nurberdi Beryamov is steadfast in his talks with the Shia Ulema. We can be powerful friends to the Iranian-American League. I've seen how in the United States they make use of films to shape the public's imagination. We too can leverage this technology. Very well, let's see what comes of this. Increase appeasement by +2, Shia Ulema stronger. Trade unions joins the league, or this will not be a fruitful partnership. Trade unions get weaker. They join it anyway. I'm going to go with the first one. Happier Shia Ulema is good for me. So, now the Iranian-American League has a lot of interest groups in it. So let's see what we can do with this. How about a mutual trade privileges situation? 92% chance that they say yes, let's try it. Nice. Wonderful. I'm delighted. So that should increase appeasement of the league, and it certainly does. Alright, beautiful. That's very good. Now, the Turkmen national movement is still around, but, you know, we're chilling. We're chilling right now. Still working on the telephone. Once this finishes, we'll be in very good stead. We can start producing our own telephones. It's going to be a great time. Everyone's going to be pleased. A Croatian uprising in Hungary. Right. I was going to check what it looks like if we try to make a protectorate of the Confederacy. No, it would never work. It would never work. The United States would fight us about it. At least at our current time. We're improving relations, so we'll see what comes of that. A bastion of Islam in the New World would be quite useful to our interests. Alright, Chitral has been conquered. So now, Kashmir. I'm going to grant you Iranian Kashmir, which is part of your core state. And that's a lot better. And now Pashtunistan is fully incorporated. So this is going to make Kashmir an even larger subject, which is very good. And we will, their liberty desire is very low, we will evangelize in them. Now Turkestan, your liberty desire is now continuing to go down at a very healthy rate. I can't impose state religion yet, but it's not too much longer. Now, I was thinking about an expansion east. So let's take a look at it. If I go after Sichuan, France and Britain both say, I don't care. Japan definitely steps in. Ottoman Empire probably does not. But what if we go for Mongolia instead? Japan still might step in, but Ottoman Empire almost assuredly does not. Sichuan might step in. If they do, we take a protectorate over them as well. Alright, let's do it. What kind of an army do they have? Not much of one. I'm going to go ahead and send the Third Army once again. Should have checked if they had any problematic diplomacy. Frankly, if Sichuan steps in under these circumstances, I would be very pleased, because that would allow me to take them as a protectorate as well at the same time, and that would be very good for me overall. Anti-Russian League demands action. The Anti-Russian League has requested that we launch a diplomatic play against Russia. Successfully acting on the proposal will gain our government significant goodwill from the lobby. And those who would refuse and prefer preserving the status quo There was no hesitation. His response sounded well-rehearsed because it was. This was a proactive man, one who spent hours pacing his chambers and anticipating attacks to come. My reply would be that we should never have allowed them to become so close to us in the first place. A friendship built upon deceit is nothing at all, and the goodwill gained from it, illusory. We will look into this, or this is not in our interest. I'm going to say we'll look into this, because I do want to take Kirgizia. And I think I'm going to hand this territory over to Uyghurstan. They're already holding a part of the territory. Behind bars, the arrest and alleged ill treatment of a disorderly protester affiliated with the anarchist movement has sparked resentment among his compatriots. Further demonstrations have been arranged, urging his release. Prison was a miserable place. Iron bars, stone walls, and cold floors. In the past few weeks, the guards had taken to casually tapping their batons against the bars when they passed by, making sleep impossible. He could not even escape in his dreams, as the tension he felt in the waking world began to bleed into his sleep as well. All this for pushing a policeman away. He'd regretted it at first. Now, though, perhaps he could say that every one of them deserved that and more. Perhaps an early release for good behavior can be arranged. Reduced anarchist movement activism, but salty Shia Ulema. Or we will not make exceptions because of some hooligans. Slightly more active anarchist movement, Shia Ulema happy. I'm going to do the second one. I think that's just sensible. Hoping to get Japan over the line into not wanting to shoot at us. Because if I can get Japan to the point of not wanting to shoot at us, I'll be very happy. I could take the Heavenly Kingdom as a subject. That would be kind of buck wild, but it would be fun. But I think next on the docket is going to be a fight against Russia. You know, I don't think we're going to do too much. I might go ahead and snag whatever we've got a claim on in the Caucasus, just to get a little bit more territory there. Kashmir is still unrecognized. Or is still a sub-regional power. Sindh, same deal. Oh man. Is this a different Croatian uprising or is it the same one? I think it's the same one. Curious. Things are very curious in Croatia. And Mongolia backs down. Wonderful. I am delighted with this. Let's have better relations. They are going down in Liberty Desire at a very healthy clip, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Okay, so... if I go for a conquer in Kirgizia, that's 9 in... I'm going to hang tight on that for just a bit while I work on other stuff. I'm going to impose state religion on Turkestan. And their Liberty Desire is below 65, so I'm also going to evangelize. I'm spending a lot of infamy improving, doing evangelism in my subjects, but it's worth it long term. So, I think we need to improve the size of the economy a bit more. We're very low in interest overall, so I'm feeling pretty optimistic about my ability to do that. Let's take a quick look at the market. We don't have any electric industries yet. Actually, it's 11 weeks. Let's wait. Let's wait for 11 weeks while that happens. Actually, no. I can afford to increase the size of my motor industries, so I'm going to do it. I need to get up to 45. This shouldn't be hard. Pashtunistan. We'll go up to 10 levels there. Tabriz will go up to 20 levels there. And Iraqi Ajami will go up to 5 levels there, and that'll be what we need. Let me do a quick check of the private sector. I thought I saw one under construction, but... Or one has been constructed. And we're still net positive in cash flow, so that's... I'm feeling very pleased with that. Which means I might be able to afford more construction. Because this does mean that our investment pool is increasing in size really significantly because it's not able to spend all the money that it's got in it. Which is good for us overall. Bastion still has a significant amount of turmoil. Well, hopefully providing some extra... Hopefully providing some additional jobs there will make things chiller. Relations to the United States are improving, which I'm also pretty pleased about. Revolution in the midst of Austria. Tiny socialist revolt. Did anyone make good on their desire to cut Britain down to size? It doesn't seem like it. The United States are still in a war with them. They're losing. Unfortunately, they do not have war support protection. They should take over Chile. Because Chile is on the side of Britain in this war, and if the United States took over them, then they wouldn't have war support protection, and that would be chill. Chile. Oh, that was so dumb. Y'all, sometimes I'm the dumbest. Alright, there's the telephone. So let's get building some electrics industries right away. I think we want some in Fars and some in Tabriz. Alright, here's the camera. Get the camera! Let's go ahead and throw those in here, those in Fars. Are going pretty slowly, but that's alright. That's right, I can live with that. Anywhere we're short on taxation capacity, because clearly I need more, I need to be doing a government more. Oh, my. Actually, Pashtunistan needs a significant increase in taxation capacity, which is just fine, because I'm short on bureaucracy anyway, so it's no big deal. Obviously, I'm spending more money this way, but, you know, them's the breaks. I can always pause construction and handle it later. Now we're starting in on radio, which is very, very good. This is going to hopefully keep us ahead of the Ottomans, which is important because they love taking shots at me. My infamy is getting down pretty low. I'm going to need to get quite a bit to snag this territory, but hopefully it won't be... I may go for this other stuff. That might be a mistake, ultimately, but I think I could take the Russians in a fight. I was able to take them in a fight before, and it wasn't a big deal. So here's hoping that's a reasonable path forward. Concrete dockyards, very nice. Ooh, that allows us to do a modern port method, which I am absolutely going to do, because I love having sufficient whatever. Trade capacity. Feared but not loved, the Trucial States, owing us an obligation, could be used to request a propaganda campaign, making the world see our nation in a more pleasant light. It is well for a nation to be respected, feared even, but can we truly expect them to support us in the future if most Trucial children grow up hearing stories about how we'll eat them if they don't behave? Everyone should remember how we came to their aid. This, in a week, gets an event with the crucial states that could reduce our infamy. Or why, when we are a nation to be feared, no effect. I'm going to pick the first one. It's always nice to have this event proc. Relations with the crucial states are good, so it'd be very nice if they say yes. And it looks as if they... Well, they haven't yet. They have plenty of time to respond. A stable supply. Power. The recent expansion of the power plants in Mazandaran has inspired faith in a future where all of Iran is electrified. Tapping the power of the roaring rivers and waterfalls by transforming it into the power of a thunderstorm must be a sign that we're approaching the final stage of man's mastery over nature. Are we ready? Morally, intellectually, spiritually? It matters not. It is coming. Unlimited power, extra power plants throughput, or there must be other ways to produce electricity, extra free progress on steam turbine. You know I'm going with the free progress on steam turbine. Heck yes, I love free tech progress. Ooh, and we got wargaming spreading, which is also really, really good. So once we got radio, that'll be really, really nice for us. So, industries are... Well. Isn't that interesting? You want to conquer Urga and revoke the claim on Mosul. Where is Urga? It's in Mongolia. You want to steal... Oh my goodness. The Ottoman Empire has a... I didn't even realize the Fengtian clique and Korea are both Ottoman subjects. That's bananas. Bananas. Okay. Okay, so you're trying to steal... How interesting. There are lots of countries I could bring in to assist. The British are the ones I want the most. We'll see what they want. With that having been said, I feel pretty confident in my ability to win a war with the Ottomans if it's a defensive war. We'll set our fellas to defense. And what's my war goal here? I do so wish to steal things from them, but at the same time, I don't know that I can necessarily accomplish that. Where are all these battalions coming from? Korea? Fengtian clique, Gojam, Hejaz, Moldavia, Wallachia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Jabal Shamar. Okay. Pretty significant amount of force overall. Let's go ahead and raise some more and increase our conscripts. And I think we'll round up to 40 artillery conscripts as well. Because I think we're going to need conscripts in this war. That's my sense. Alright, that should be enough. I think I want armies over here in Mongolia, and some holding back to defend the coast. We'll see how that looks. Obviously, this has made our cash flow situation a little dire. How are things looking over there? Okay, things over there are looking just fine. Alright, I need to set a war goal. Gosh. I think I will go with humiliate. Nothing... I don't have a particular need with respect to this war, and I'm going to send our fleet here. And we'll just stay on interception for now. And that'll be fine. Wow, that has made cash flow just abominable. So, let me see, how's the investment pool? The investment pool is doing pretty alright. We'll go ahead and pause all government construction. Japan sides with the Ottomans. Okay. I don't love that. But maybe this can work in our favor. Mexico, what do you want? Only an obligation. Interesting. Mexico is a pretty substantial ally. So we'll sway them with an obligation. Now, Britain. You want to steal Kashmir. Whoa. And Russia, you want to steal Tajikistan. Tajikistan. Russia, are you sure? I don't see Russia being much help here. Oh, I've been doing so much work in Kashmir, though. Oh. Could get Tigray. That doesn't really feel like it matters. Actually going to put the 5th Army back here at the main front, and I'm going to raise my conscripts. Let me take a quick look. Okay, put you on defense. And we'll go ahead and promote you. I need you on defense and also defense. We're on defense here, right? It's looking like a yes. Alright, these fellows are on defense as well. Now, is Japan putting anybody... Adolphine Pizer. Interesting. Okay, so they're putting folks on again, what I'm calling the main front over here. Got an upgrade all units button. Have I got units that are not upgraded? Seems that I do. Huh, there it is. Alright. That should be good. The Ottoman Empire actually has a pretty substantial fleet. Which I hadn't reckoned on. Their economy is about twice the size of mine, but again, I think I can hold. I think I've got the ability to win a prolonged battle of attrition here. Mexico has added an enforced what? Oh, interesting. So I didn't know they could do this. So this might give the Ottomans war support protection while Mexico is in the war, which would be very sad for me. Official translations. The government has received requests from the Turkmen people to provide translations of some official documents to their language. When you speak of the Turkmen as uneducated, you are seemingly referring to those of us who speak Not 2 languages, but only 1, just like you do. It is important that these documents are accessible to all, reduce bureaucracy, 5% of Turkmen pops become more loyalist, or they should learn the official language, 5% and become more radical. I'm going to pick the second one. I can't afford to lose bureaucracy right now. I'm in a bit of a hairball here. Again, I feel like I have the ability to hold long term, but you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, this is good. This will get us truces with the Ottoman Empire and Japan one way or another. And if they take this little state over here, it's not the end of the world. Because that means I can simply I can simply devour my way across China. And that'll be nice. Ooh, and we have some... These should be Mexican troops arriving. Yes, 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 yes. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, I'm feeling delighted. I'm feeling so very delighted. 2 arms. Investment pool is holding steady. Obviously, we're costing ourselves a barrel full of cash. The enemy should begin pushing now. But again, if I can stay on defense... Oh, no. No! No! Don't advance! Don't advance, you bastards! Alright, so we are successfully defending here. Very good, very good. Defensive battles have popped off all over here. We are defending successfully. Now what about over here? Force comparison is good. The enemy is not pushing forward. I'm going to leave that be for now. Because here's the thing. The longer... Yeah, so they're suffering significant casualties compared to me. And now they've lost 100% of battles. So the longer we can hold that they've lost the most battles thing, the better we can do. If I stay on defense here... This is interesting. Force comparison is positive in our favor. But I've fallen into that trap before with the Ottoman Empire. I'm going to continue to hold. I'm going to continue to be defensive. Alright. The Anti-Russian League disbanded. Well, that's curious. It's quite curious. Alright, so... and there's no benefit to me of advancing. Oh, interesting. They have war support protection because of the humiliate CB. Coalition coupons. Okay, hold on, hold on. Before we talk about this, let's look at the election. The Society for Progress, which is the industrialists and the trade unions, have a lot of momentum. The Revival Party has very low momentum. And the moderate socialists, which is just the petite bourgeoisie, are hanging around in there. But far and away ahead are the Learned Council, which are our governing party. Ashgabat Garrison refuses orders. We've seen this one before. I'm going to string up the ringleaders and jail the rest. Because that's what I need to do to keep my armed forces happy. Next, coalition coupons. With the Ottoman Empire versus Iran war going well, the country is swept up in a frenzy of war. The sitting Learned Council has issued letters of endorsement to parliamentary candidates they feel support the war effort, drawing patriotic voters towards their cause. You didn't get the letter, huh? Go figure that coward, some spineless good-for-nothing pacifist. Our boys are out there dying, and what does he do? Sits around shuffling stacks of paper, waiting for the opportune moment to squander the gains we paid for in blood. Nah, our men need somebody to fight for them, as they fight for us. Rally around the party, I mean the flag. Extra momentum for the Learned Council, or are you for us, or are you for our adversaries? Increased government interest group approval, reduced opposition interest group approval. I'm gonna go with the first one. I'm always gonna go for that Learned Council stuff. Let's put this front in advance. We got a very good force comparison here. Let's see how things look from there. Is this a mistake? Maybe it is. Actually, I don't think I benefit at all from advancing this front. I think I benefit from advancing this front, potentially. But I'm going to wait until the enemy has pushed forward some more, because they've got another war popping off over here. And I got to bait them into more battles. Ooh, actually. Ooh, interesting. I could expand my fleet to deal with this problem, which I see placed in front of me. Oh, they fled right away. Nice, now I'm winning. Wonderful. Production and agitation. In collaboration with the Learning Council, Ibrahim Esfahani has secured a deal for cheap and quickly distributed pamphlets in support of the party. The interior of the carriage held a pleasant surprise. A crate of several thousand pamphlets printed on an industrial scale, each with instructions on the voting process and a cheaply copied logo of the Learning Council. They made a hefty weight, and he hoped would turn out to be an equally sized benefit. Bear our opponents a sea of paper, 20% extra momentum for the Learning Council. Excellent. So that's also very good. So what does that do for our election? Yeah, it means Learning Council is projected to get more than 50% of the votes, which is a very healthy amount of the votes to get. A Moro National Awakening. I feel a little peeved about this because I thought the point of humiliate was you could just hold, and it wouldn't be a problem for you necessarily. Maybe getting the Brits in here would have been wise, but I didn't do that. And so the enemy's transferring their forces back up to the front here. That's making their force comparison a little bit worse. But truly, I believe we have the ability to hold and not suffer any ill effects. Now maybe I build up a fleet a little bit more. This is not going to be that many weeks. So if I build up... If I build 15 levels of naval stuff... That shouldn't be that long of extra costs. Pressing issues. The ongoing election has drawn attention to the platforms of the various contending parties. Across Iran, the electorate debates which party is worth trusting with the next term in government. The first thing I take into account is the safety of my investments. If a party would represent chaos, I may safely discount it. The stockbroker tapped his cigar on the rim of the ashtray and continued. The journalist took notes as he spoke. How will the incoming government's tariff policy affect my needed imports? Do they wish to impose taxes which may spur uncertainty? Do they wish to embark upon military adventures? Would these adventures be profitable, or would they be ruinous? There is much to consider. So this just allows me to give a block of momentum to whichever party I want. Unsurprisingly, I'm going to pick the Learning Council. Now, I've got Patriotic Fervor running, which is nice. And hopefully this will kind of rectify my slight deficiencies in naval stuff, which are not helped by the fact that your boy is blundering. Alright, so... Alright, very good. And we'll see another block of naval bases getting completed pretty soon. Alright, looking pretty good. And this is gonna almost double the size of my navy, to be completely honest. I am gonna let these finish out, so we'll get a little bit of overflow into these electrics industries. But overflow into the electrics industries is not at all a bad thing. If the war goes long enough, in fact, I may need to finish those electrics industries to start fielding higher quality artillery, which I will need to do if that happens. So we'll let this go just a little longer. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of extra progress there. You got the do a promotion event. I'm just going to hold on to this until I've got my naval bases built. Beautiful. Do a promotion. The industrialists demand the promotion of Lieutenant General Reza Shirazi, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath. But it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Farhani's face when the field marshal learned of his imminent ascension. The rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last, he'd have his due. So he's a market liberal aligned with the industrialists. He's earned it, would make the industrialists happier. If I say they won't force our hand, that makes the Shia Islam happier. I'm going to say he's earned it. That's fine. Happier industrialists are good for the country. Mongolia is actually almost at the point where I could reduce their autonomy. And there's our election. So, how are things looking? I could bring the petite bourgeoisie into the government, but I don't need to, so we'll leave things where they are. I can go to protect... Hold on. Do you guys like protectionism? They do not care. Does anyone like protectionism? Who would like this? The rural folk. And the industrialists and the landowners dislike it. Never mind. We'll keep mercantilism for the time being. Everything else is looking pretty good. Uh-oh. Ah, the armed forces fell off. Oh, that's not ideal right now. That's not ideal right now at all, because now we're not getting our bonuses. The Ottoman are losing war support faster than we are. So I think ultimately I have a greater ability to win this. Mexico has... Oh, wait. No, it's the other way around. Ottoman Empire is trying to enforce investment rights on Mexico. Oh, but all these fellas are Ottoman subjects, so they're not going to be able to flee the war until the Ottoman Empire capitulates. Well, this might be a whole situation, my nerds. So, in preparation for this, I'm going to resume government construction, and I'm going to increase taxes. How's our legitimacy? Still at 100. Not ideal, but I'm going to need these electrics industries running for when we get defense in depth, because we're going to need defense in depth. Oh boy, are we ever going to need defense in depth. I'm not in a great spot because the Ottomans have a much larger economy than I've got. Which means they can sustainably handle this war longer than I can. What a tough situation. I genuinely didn't know that the that humiliate let them have war support protection. I've forgotten what the... I know there's supposed to be some war goal where as long as you're just kind of hanging tight, your enemy has to attack you. But I guess this isn't it, isn't it? As the children say. Rubber shortage. Ah, yes. Well, you should have trade capacity, able to bring that in. So let's go ahead and set some very rock solid import subventions. And that'll allow us to bring in the rubber that we need through the trade centers here, of which there are quite a few. I can reform the government. I don't think I want to bring the petite bourgeoisie in here. I could increase taxes to high, but I don't wish to do that. Need a little bit more government admin into Breeze. Cindy attitude improved to loyal. Wonderful. Mongolia is almost at the point where I could reduce their autonomy. Kind of funny that I can do that during a war. Funny, but also pretty cool. Excuse me? Right, Mexico have moved their armies away, so the enemy is attacking now. However, we are still successfully defending, which is good, because dealing casualties to the enemy is a great way to ensure that the war continues to go our way. Our losses so far are pretty modest. We've taken quite a few wounded and from attrition. Bhavnagar damaging relations. I don't know what to make of that. So I shall simply ignore it. Not loving this. Nationalist opera. The performance of an opera with nationalist revolutionary themes at the upcoming festival is being openly associated with the Turkmen secession movement by its proponents. Monday the 23rd, fireworks. Tuesday the 24th, illuminations. Wednesday the 25th, revolution. Cancel the fireworks. 2% of Turkmen pops in Iran become more radical. Cancel the illuminations. Reduce bureaucracy. 5% become more radical. Reduce secession progress by 10%. Or cancel the revolution. Reduce authority. Minus 15% secession progress. I'm just going to say cancel the fireworks. I think that's fine. They're only projected to go up to 84%, so hopefully we can keep a hold on this. If we have a war with them, it will not be ideal. I'll tell you what. It will not be ideal, I'll tell you what, but it will be manageable. This force comparison is very bad. Again, with radio rockin', we can actually. I was thinking about this. We need to build up some additional power capacity in both the places where we built electrics industries, because we're going to need to produce radios. I can go to machine steel tools, but I don't have any rubber available in the country. No, you'll love those radios. The people will love the radios. Hold on. We'll subsidize them. We'll subsidize them. It's going to be worth it. The people love radios. They're going to buy them. They're going to buy the bejesus out of them. Exactly the same with telephones. I'm going to set an import tariff for telephones. Alright, so now we're producing some demand. That's good. North German Federation improving relations. Very nice. Ottoman Empire is now taking down Liberty Desire much faster than we are. The street-side standoff. Troops in Turkmenia have reported more and more confrontations with belligerent mobs. Fighting will likely break out if nothing is soon, even if nothing is ordered. There's only two ways to control the situation. Either pull the troops back or tell them to engage. The soldier shuffled nervously where he stood, shifting the weight of his gun back and forth as he stared at the crowd stirring far too close by. He thought he recognized some of those faces, or he would have if they weren't twisted in utter loathing of him and his uniform. What was he even doing? Was he standing with the right people here? Order a withdrawal from Turkmenia, increased state penalties from turmoil, 50% chance of the secession going up and down, or our men are professionals, they will maintain discipline where they are, increased mortality from turmoil, higher chance of secession going down than up. I'm going to pick the second one. It went up, but that's okay, because it's going to go down. Yeah, force comparison is getting about the same as it's been. It's okay. If I can get them down, it'll be another 25 weeks. If I can get them down to 0, I can put them in a position where they're likely to accept a white peace, and that would be fine with me. Ooh, can decrease autonomy in Mongolia. Don't mind if I do. And we'll reduce subject payments there. So that's nice. It gives us permanent military access. It'll let us take Tuva if we decide to take Tuva, which I do wish to do. Medium term. Again, like this is a very expensive war. Ugh, I'm going to be paying a lot in interest for a long time. Ooh, oil in Hormuz. Wonderful. But the advantage of it is, if I can get... I'm going to stop government construction after these sets of power plants. If I can get my... if I can get it done in good order, what I can do is I can... get a truce. Oh, that's a much larger fleet. Don't love that. And if I can get a truce with the Ottomans, then I'll be able to expand in China pretty much unopposed, because I'll also have a truce with Japan at that point. Now, Japan, I believe, does not have war support protection. They certainly don't, and their war support is falling off. So when they bail out, I might be able to get my Humiliate CB on them after all. We'll see what happens. How much of their force over here is Japan? They've got 36 battalions, 19 battalions. So they got about 50 battalions over here on the main front. And what about over here? Over here they've got 14 battalions. Okay, so Japan is not actually contributing all that much force to our enemy's overall situation. We are still winning this defensive naval battle despite the size of our enemy's navy. Probably... Yeah, it seems like we're using mostly superior ships, which is pretty cool. This force comparison's getting worrying. Death to secessionists. Nurberdi Bayramov, a prominent Turkmen political leader, has become a symbol for their independence movement. Senior intelligence officials advised a plan for dealing with Bayramov quietly to set back their cause. You may feel certain methods are unacceptable, which is precisely why I would advise you to worry less about methods and more about results. Surely a united Iran, including its Turkmen subjects, is the only acceptable result. Then let me worry about the methods. Convenient end to an inconvenient man. 10% of Turkmen pops in Iran become more loyal. Baryamov dies. Reduced political movement pop attraction for the Turkmen national movement. for 5 years and reduces the secession by 25%. Or Iran is not in the business of murdering its citizens. 2% of Turkmen pops in Iran become more loyalist. I'm going to go with the second one. More loyalists are actually better for slowing down the movement than anything else. Although, this is getting dangerously high here. Weapons of war. An article has been published by the Iranian Tribune about some of the weapons which our country uses in the ongoing Ottoman Empire versus Iran war. The article focuses on the machine gun, a terrifying weapon which tears through flesh and bone at an almost inhuman rate. Members of the public are calling for the use of such weapons to be restricted. Such foul instruments of pain and torment have no place on Earth. Don't restrict them. Iranian war support decreases by 10. Intelligentsia unhappy, or cover up their usage, reduced authority. I'm going to go with the first one. I can afford a slight hit in war support. My enemies are doing much worse in terms of war support than I am. Again, they're mostly getting this because of the casualties they've suffered. My casualties are much lower. Or no, my casualties are not all that much lower, but they've lost a lot more battles than I have, which is to say they've lost 100% of battles. So their war support's going down a lot faster than mine. And they're going to lose Japan out of the war, hopefully, as soon as their war support gets negative, which would be very, very nice. I would be delighted to have that happen. I'm obviously in a little bit of a kerfuffle. It increased taxes. I might need to do it. Fleet's down bad. Okay, that puts me at 93% legitimacy, which is not ideal. No, I'm gonna stay at high taxation. I think I can live with this. Interesting. Revolution in Kashmir. Not a great time. Coup in Korea. Fascinating. Manchuria interest deactivated. Not sure why that is. But it's no business of mine. So, Ottoman Empire. They don't want a white peace. Unclear why. Alright. Well, they should be able to hold them. Looks like our subject has got this situation sorted out, so I think I'm good with that. Again, if the Turkmen national movement pops off, it's not the end of the world. We are losing convoys slowly, which is not ideal. Here we go, Turkmen national movement. Yeah, they're going down to 84%. So that's why it's very nice to have increased loyalists, increased loyalization. This war is a real kerfuffle. They're minus 27%. The white police line item here is going up, though, over time, because I think before it was 32. So I think the longer we can hold on this, the better it'll be. The better our chances are. The Heavenly Kingdom has formed a power block. Interesting. I have to say, I don't love that. Happily, our enemies have not tried to naval invade. Yeah, this white peace option's going up. Also, again, Japan is out of the war by default in, I think, about a year. This high taxes button is tempting. I think we've got to go to high taxes. I think we've got to go to high taxes. I think it's going to be difficult. long-term for the country, but I'm hemorrhaging cash right now, and there's no other way to keep the war running than to hemorrhage cash for a bit. Happily, once we hit defense in depth, we'll be able to upgrade our armies, our artillery. Communist revolts in Kashmir. Our subjects have got that handled, which is good. And once we've got our artillery upgraded, we'll be ahead of our enemies, hopefully. Yeah, because they're still rocking shrapnel artillery. And this is only 3 months away, so that might allow us to turn the tide here, get a little bit of enemy territory, and force them to bail out of the war, which would be really nice. Our side is winning in this little revolution here. Japan again slowly ticking towards. Uh-oh. Communist movement's revolutionary. That's not great. Oh, that's very bad. This is very bad, friends. I think I need to suppress that movement. I did not realize the communist movement was hurtling towards... Oh, it's because the high taxes. It's the freaking taxes. It's always the money. It's always the money. Well, I've simply got to do what I'm currently doing. I have no other path. I mean, I could drop the taxes, but that's just going to mean a long-term problem. Again, the Ottoman Empire is slowly building towards... There we go. Okay, this has put our force comparison at 32. I'm going to try to push forward and end this war. That's where I'm at. I think once I've got defense in depth, I'll be able to get moving forward, seize a little bit of Ottoman territory, and get them to get them to accept that this war is not in their interests. It's not much longer now. Huh, it's only 25. That's not what I was hoping it would be. But again, once we get our upgrades in, it'll be good to go. Two more weeks. Beautiful. Situation in Kashmir is sorted out. Man, if I'd known I wasn't going to be able to piece them out like this, I would have taken a frickin' war goal to steal those subjects. Mohandas Gandhi has been exiled from Baroda. Alright, so there's defense in depth. Alright, communist movement has been suppressed into no longer being revolutionary. Hit the upgrade all units button. So that should get this number moving upward in a very healthy rate. And may lead to a radios issue. If we need to import radios, that's okay. Alright, 27, that's looking good. Okay. Still hanging around at 27. Over here we're up to 46. Ideally, I want to be above 30. Okay, nearly fully converted. Okay, 28. This might be the best we're gonna... Excuse me? Oh no. Oh no. Alright, we need a new fella. This guy is a hedonist and defensive strategist. Bring him in. Alright, that could have been a problem. We will leave them until their organization goes up. Let me check my other armies to make sure they're good for organization. They are. So once this goes up to 100, we'll commence the attack. In preparation for that, we will have for all of our armies over here, we will assign Mosul as the strategic objective. So we're focusing our efforts in the right place. '97, 8, and 100. Advance. A barrage. Advance. Advance. Pillage. Advance and advance. This might be a giant mistake, my nerds, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I've got a shortage of taxation capacity in Mazandaran that I need to rectify. I'm just going to throw that at the top of the queue. I'm going to unpause this because I need to get that done. This might be done, but it is what it is. Alright. We should have a battle kicking off here soon. Let's see how it goes. And there's wargaming. Excellent. We are making progress forward. Wonderful. Oh yeah, because we had wargaming spreading. Beautiful. So this is good. So, we got everything in the land side. We'll go with Sealing strategies, and then Dreadnought, and then Destroyer, and then finally, we'll grab NCO Incorporation, and that is going to be a huge shot in the arm for us militarily. Now we'll see when we take this territory if they lose war support protection entirely. Pause government construction once again. Because I think you might only need like a section of occupation, like one successful offensive battle in order to make, to claim humiliation for a war goal. But we'll see how it goes. See how it goes when this battle finishes out, which it's liable to do now. Alright, so, do they still have war support protection? They don't. Alright, we need to continue forward. Another battle's kicked off. How's it looking? It's looking good. We're both, it's muddy here in Basra, but we're doing it. We're doing it. Force comparison's going up. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling very successful in the war place. Ooh, and there's the combustion engine. That's very nice. I'm very pleased with that. That's going to help with our economy long term. Gosh, our finances are Robert borked. But if we can get forward here, we're winning battles now. We're winning battles now, and we've got a plan to be able to win battles medium term against the Ottoman. So I'm feeling pretty good overall. It's been a tough war, but I think we've got the ability to win now. And I mean win. 50% occupation of Basra. We got 2 battles kicking off. This one looks to be a success. This one also looks to be a success. So, if both of these go the way they're currently going, that gets us control of the state, and I believe that will allow us to lock in our humiliate CB, and then it's just a matter of forcing them to peace out. Korea's in default too, apparently, which isn't that big of an effect, but it's still nice to see. Wow, our force comparison improved a lot. That's really nice. 50, dang. Come on, finish. Finish, you silly battle. Give me control of Basra. Give me control of Basra. Alright. From here, Now they no longer have war support protection. So, now we return to defense. We don't need to get frisky. We can simply defend. And as long as our enemies throw themselves at us, we will be able to win the war. So, now, yes, now they're decreasing in war support. And this we only need another, a few dozen weeks or so. So I'm feeling pretty good. Double Shamar is in default. Excellent. Turkmen national movement might pop off. And if that happens, then it happens. Oh, now I'm feeling real good. Thumbing my nose at the Ottoman Empire. I am going to hold out for the humiliate now because I really would like to win. They are my rivals after all. I know this is costing me a huge, just a comical amount of money. This is maybe some of my dumbest work, holding out for this, but I can make this happen. I can make this happen. I just need to be willing to pay the tab. Also, my fleet's almost repaired, so that's nice. You know, humiliate's not that bad. Okay, I think it's just about 7 more weeks. This is very good. This is very good. Mongolia, how much longer? 3 years. And then after that, I can just start going after states in China, baby. After that, it's all China all the time. Yes, haha, yes. I wish there were a make them convert to my religion war goal. That would be delightful. Hey, we got our fleet repair. Wonderful. Guard of the sea node. An anti-Ottoman association. Oh, that's funny. Whew. Not too much longer now. Ah, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. My nerds, I'm feeling really good. Don't pay any attention to this number of radicals number. It's fine. We just need to set. We just need to set set our finances in order, and then all will be well. All right, can I get? Not quite yet. 1 more week. 1 more week. Get wrecked, Ottoman Empire. Teach you to try to win a war with Persia. All right, so now this is a good number. This number pleases the cat. So from here, first, I make a protectorate of now Japan should not be able to step in because we have a truce, yes. And the Ottoman Empire cannot. They're not even on the list. So yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna go here right away. They've got the ability to raise a large army, but I think I've got them beat on technology. Simply raise the second army. and place them on the front. Our cash flow is doing just fine now. We've got to smash this national debt just as fast as we can. But I think we'll drop back to only high taxation. I know that that's maybe not optimal. But I think it's going to be worth it long term. I'm short on bureaucracy once again. We'll go to photographic art. I don't know how long ago I discovered camera. I wasn't paying as close attention as I should have been on that. But them's the breaks. One more government admin. We'll do one in FARS. Oh, actually, we need a few in different areas. So we'll build ourselves a buffer anyway. That means unpausing government construction, which is going to take some time, but that's okay. Alright, captured light and shadow. The interest in photographic arts throughout Iran has spawned many new artistic movements experimenting with the new technology. It can perhaps seem too harsh to capture the reality as the human eye perceives it, without any of the love or mercy the human heart softening the image. However, by moving the responsibility from the artist to the observer, we hope to make people more aware of the contents of their own hearts. This should be a new tool for reporters everywhere, extra tech spread for society, we use to capture the beauty of Iran, extra migration traction, or we should put the efforts towards making these pictures come alive, extra progress towards film. I'm just going to do the first one. Tech spread for society is really, really good. This is only going to run for a few weeks, this construction, and then we'll be in very good stead financially. And by very good stead financially, ooh, got a new mandate. Excellent. So we're at Sacred Civics 1. Sacred Civics 2 is reduce liberty desire for same religion subjects. That's wonderful. Yes, that's the plan. Nobody is stopping me doing this thing. After that, we're going after Shibei. And after that, the Heavenly Kingdom. Oh, we can't go after the Heavenly Kingdom. They're a major. I got outplayed. I got beaten at the long game. Go ahead and pause that. Let's get your cash flow going in the right direction. We're going to be sitting pretty now. Get out of here, Ottoman Empire. One of these days we'll go after Russia, but I got to get Shibei and Sichuan. Ooh. You get him, Britain. Just trying to get through all those. Hey, what are you doing, by the way? You're trying to steal the Trucial Coast. You're trying to Britain. What? You're the biggest power in the world. Why don't you do something real to them? Oh man, I'm feeling vindictive. And I can't side. I can side with Britain on this. Really? I can join Britain for a mega war against the Ottomans. Now. How interesting. Britain has the ability to win this war for sure. And if I go for a conquer CB against Basra, say, or a liberate for the a transfer subject for the Fengtian clique, that could be really good for me. But on the other hand, I'm a little bit out of sorts because I'm in the middle of an offensive war of my own. But I'll have the British on my side this time. Ooh. What do I wish to do? I've got a claim on Mosul as well. So that's something I would love to take. But you know what? Actually, where are we timeline-wise? Yeah, it's getting to be the end of the episode. I thought I was only going to go for 2 hours this time, but I seem to have kind of Robert Borked that idea. So I'll think about it, and I'll decide next episode. For now, that's all the time we've got. My nerds, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.